really good show today with the.
No, we're definitely not doing that.
And what are you doing for the holidays? Yeah.
We're gonna be.
Remember those? Because that's kind of what that SNL was making fun of. Those like really weird tone.
Who are the two girls? Sherry O'Terry and
Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon. That's it.
I'm just really excited for the holiday season.
It's gonna be really good. We got the
like that weird ass tone with like some kind of like
they're literally just having like a mundane conversation. It's very just monotone and just,
this one was like sweaty balls.
Yeah, it's like I really like the texture of your balls.
Yeah, because I think they're talking about they always talk about something sexual, but it's pertaining to like whatever holiday they're talking about. So it's like meatballs, ornament balls.
Ornament,
I love the way your balls smell.
Yeah. So stupid. Welcome to the show.
Oh, wow. Really? You got that on the show?
We are back.
Got him.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back.
Asshole.
And boy, do we have
I really hope that this was the last hiatus that we have.
I think we should be down.
At least for this 2018-19
Wow.
year.
Yeah, 19.
I don't know why I'm stuck in 2018.
I'm really feeling the new microphone setup. I'm really liking
we are a little different this go around.
New set, but you can't
new
see
location.
New location with one heck of a view.
The best part is that the podcast started at 17 Waverly, and we are no longer 17 Waverly.
But we'll keep that legacy.
But keep the name will never change, ladies and gentlemen, because that is what we are.
Eventually,
no matter where we are in the world. Also, I think it's coming up this month, we're going to have a special extra not at 17 Waverly episode.
Stay tuned for that one.
But we'll see how that one works.
See how that pans out and the logistics of it.
Yeah, I feel like even if it gets recorded, it's going to sound like a hot
mess. And even if we do somehow get an outlet to plug this in the middle of a street somewhere of the place that we're going,
I will figure that.
It'll be great to have the audio.
Wait,
of
you're being serious about the plan doing it outside?
Just pulling out a
100%.
table of some kind and just sitting.
That is so disruptive.
Yeah, all we need is a fold-out table so that I can place the microphones on the table. Actually, no, we don't even have to have that. We don't even need to have the fold-out table.
We can just hold the mics.
We can hold the mics and then just record, and then we're good.
Can't we just get one of those battery packs you could plug shit into?
Yeah, for the most part. But it's better. It's better because we've got this equipment that we need to plug it in.
Yeah, we need some outlets.
We're gonna look like we're about to commit a crime.
Yeah, so we've got some new things. We've got some new pop filters on our microphone, so things feel a little different.
Which I'm having a lot of fun with. I'm just like really playing with this little.
Angelo has a goatee now.
Yeah, no, don't. The reason why I have a goatee is because when I was actually doing my beard, I knew that there was not enough battery to get through it. So I was like, let me just do the sides and charge.
Okay.
And that's probably why I was actually late for the train to get here, leading to my phone breaking and leading to me getting here at 8:30, 40, whatever it is.
Correct.
But hey, I have a goatee now.
Hey,
so.
It is what it is. We are here, and we've got a lot to talk about. We're 3 minutes in. Let's get underway. We're watching AEW.
Couch.
Yeah, AEW, man.
It is the second week.
This is the second broadcast that AEW has done.
You've watched them the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts so far of the new competitor to?
I know. So AEW is going head to head with NXT, which is pretty much it's actually WWE's like best show,
right?
Unfortunately,
but now NXT was not on TV on a regular weekly basis.
Exclusively on the WWE network,
right?
And now they're on USA on Wednesdays.
Because that's how scared WWE is.
That's how almost petty.
That they were like, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and get our minor league wrestlers,
get them going,
and then get them going on TV, which they're not normally on TV.
Right, and it's a really good show. NXT has a lot of great talent. So like, I watched this last weekend, and then for whatever reason, NXT I guess runs in like 15 minutes later than this.
Sure, yeah.
So I turned on the end of NXT. Right. And they drop like 3 huge bombs, and it's like shit. Like Balor, Finn Balor is in NXT now. Like he went back to NXT, and one of their best wrestlers and characters they have, Ciampa. He calls himself the Black Card. He's an amazing heel.
Right.
He comes back at the end of the show and he's back early from like a shoulder injury, and he just has his eyes set on the gold.
Oh,
and it's just like shit. Like AEW rolled out an awesome show, brought out some people,
but then of course,
and you go to NXT and they're literally like 3 like studs.
So they definitely on purpose went longer than AEW
100%.
to drop these bombs.
And what I like about it doesn't. We don't really need a war anymore.
Right.
We don't need like a Wednesday night war.
Yeah.
What we just need is just healthy competition and more wrestling on TV.
Right.
And it's going to bring out the best in both of them.
Right. True.
AEW is awesome because it does have a very retro feel to it, especially when you have like JR and Tony Schiavone on the call.
Gad didn't know that JR was doing the call.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it all reeks of petty to me.
Of course.
Oh, it's a lot of pettiness.
It's a lot of petty. You got JR, you got Jericho. It's like
Jericho's like part like one of like the CEOs of the company. Like
so Jericho's deeply behind like.
But like, is there open comment about like fuck WWE?
Oh hell yeah!
Then yeah,
they got like 2 guys that got out of their contracts with WWE because they weren't being utilized properly. Come here and they're like,
and see, that's
big picture stars.
And see, that's the scary part about for this.
Everyone
for
jump
WWE,
big ship. It's capitalism.
And there's a lot of people. There's always rumors that people are going to jump ship from WWE now to come here.
Are they?
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, I don't think like the big WWE stars because McMahon probably has them in like
you're not going to get like a Roman Reigns type to come over.
You're not going to get John Cena.
You might get like a Dolph Ziggler. You might get someone that
which
can
I
actually
love
get
Dolph
utilized.
Ziggler.
You know,
I think like definitely like maybe lesser talent is gonna jump.
Yeah, like the mid card talent will probably.
But the guys that are good enough to be the top guys, but they aren't given the opportunity
Exactly.
to, like
like
Ziggler,
like the guy Adrian Neville. He came over to do a couple matches for them, and immediately like in title pictures because he's really great. He really is a great athlete. So.
What happened this Sunday? Because I know Gab was concerned about that.
Yeah, the Twitter was aflame.
This weekend on Sunday or Monday really was. Everyone was like canceled WWE.
Yeah, a lot of the canceled WWE.
All this shit.
All right, so WWE. So Bray Wyatt. He's one of like these awesome characters that WWE has.
Right.
That really has like never has gotten like a fair shake, if you will. Like he's gotten feuds and then he's lost. Like he's never like won like a real feud before.
Yeah.
He went on a long ass hiatus and he comes back with this weird twisted. He's like a Mr. Rogers, but he's kind of fucked up.
Right. Oh,
and then he's got
like the puppets and shit.
Yeah, and then he's got an alter ego that all of his like rage manifests from called the Fiend.
Right.
And they built this whole matchup with him and Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. So you're picturing this match is supposed to be brutal. Like,
and we all know. I mean, for the most part, anybody. I mean, even if you haven't really watched wrestling a lot, but you've seen some of it, and you've seen Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah, if
they're typically like
bloody as fuck.
Bloody. They're basically.
Wait, but if it's like Kids Bop WWE now, like
you're
then
still basically still involved in a street fight inside of a fucking steel structure.
Correct. So there aren't really rules in a Hell in a Cell match.
There shouldn't be
it's
rules.
A Hell in a Cell match.
Like anything, Mick Foley got thrown off the fucking thing.
Yeah. The match didn't get
through the fucking thing.
And nobody got disqualified.
Exactly. I mean, Kane ripped the door off of one and started killing people.
Right.
No, and there was no bell.
Right.
What people had a problem with is how basically the last 10 minutes of this pay-per-view, this main event pay-per-view, was Seth Rollins doing curb stomps and trying to throw whatever piece of metal he could find underneath the ring onto Bray Wyatt.
Which is normal.
Yeah, so he's like this guy sprawled out in the middle of the ring after kicking out of like 4 curb stomps.
Right.
He kicks out of him at 1. So then he hits him with a chair, and he throws a ladder on him, and he hits him with a toolbox. And finally he gets a sledgehammer, and he goes to wind up to hit this pile of debris that's on top of this guy. And the referee's like, no, man, you can't do this. This isn't you, bro. This isn't you. Think of the consequences.
What?
And Seth Rollins kind of like gives like a brief moment of, maybe I shouldn't. No, fuck that. And he hits a piece of metal with the damn sledgehammer.
Right.
And the ref DQs it, calls for the bell. And people started booing.
Booing
because
bad because I saw.
How are you gonna throw a DQ in a Hell in a Cell match?
Yeah, it's basically a hardcore match inside of a cell. That's all it is.
And basically, it's like the crowd was very pro the Fiend.
Right.
The Fiend's not gonna get the WWE title, the Universal title. He's not gonna get that. But you could have thought of a different way for this to go.
Yeah. Like,
So a lot of people are upset. They started
people were
chanting. They
pissed,
started
yeah.
chanting refund after it. The
that's
lights,
right.
when the lights went up, they were still booing, and
Yeah.
it was.
Oh
was
my
something,
God!
man.
Or speaking, not necessarily be a segue, but did you see? You were the one that sent it. The tweet of Joker at the tier, and he's like,
Yeah,
painting
what is,
the
yeah, and
face,
it's basically like that guy, like Seth Rollins, having to go on Monday Night Raw after like that abysmal match, and he's like crying.
correct. Yeah.
crying with the clown makeup. That's so funny.
So basically, WWE fumbled like one of the biggest pay-per-views not one of the biggest, but like one of the like most like looked forward to pay-per-views
Right,
of the
right.
year. And amidst this whole AEW thing, it's not a good look.
That's
Yeah,
not
it's not.
good.
It's not a good look.
And then Monday Night Raw comes on, and they're building up. They have Tyson Fury there, the boxer,
Yeah.
the Gypsy King. They have him trying to start a feud with Braun Strowman, and the last 10 minutes of Raw are people holding them back and then them getting through and running at each other.
right. That's
It's
it.
trash.
That's it. Yeah.
Pure trash.
I mean,
they're dropping the
WWE's not going to go anywhere, but it's like
No, they're
the
not.
fact
The
that
product-
this
the product needs to get
contender
better,
has
yeah.
come.
But people are rightfully sure they should be
Product
pissed
needs.
off.
The
They want
product
more.
absolutely needs to get
Or it's
better.
going to get MySpaced.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just want them to be better.
Correct.
So that's the wrestling portion.
And this
Yes.
one's like full bloody, full. This one. Well, I said they just dropped.
they're just
shit.
letting them do whatever the hell they want. Really.
Yeah.
Like, they
I mean,
have
they just said shit on it. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
know.
I mean, that's
I mean,
already
that's
a
what
little better.
wrestling fans want. Are they doing gravy boat matches for the women, or
no.
are they
The
being
women
respected?
are legit. Kind of how like WWE
I
like
think-
they have like a legitimate
I do
like.
think
All right, that's good.
I do
Yeah.
think that's over and done with.
Yes.
All right.
We're definitely not ever going to see again the gravy boat matches.
Yeah, we're not- they're not gonna be
bra
selling
and panties
sex.
match.
That's healthy. The
Yeah.
bra and panties match.
Correct.
Forgot about those. Completely forgot.
Oh, she's
about
doing some Freddie Mercury shit.
Yeah,
You see it with the
yeah,
micro-
yeah, you
Oh,
see that.
nice.
If
Good
I
shit.
were Sable, I would be so pissed today.
I know,
I would
for
be
sure.
so resentful.
Absolutely.
Like she was a WWE star when like literally what she had were bra and panties matches and rape plot
Correct.
lines.
Yeah.
And like now females are like a legitimate part of the shit. What the hell is happening here?
Yeah,
No,
we've
it's
got
not
some kind of weird costumey things. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Let's get the meat and potatoes. I like this.
We're gonna get to the meat and potatoes here, folks, because it's been a few weeks. We haven't really discussed many of the things that have been going on in television and movies. Obviously, it hasn't been a crazy busy news week with news month, really. But we do have one big review that we need to go through. and
Yeah,
that's
I've been looking forward
Joker
to this
review.
all week.
We've talked about this movie for probably months.
Months. Yeah. I mean, it started off.
Every
if you
time
give
we
it-
had a little trailer or a little bit of
Something.
information
So much
about
shit
it.
about this
I was
movie.
gonna say,
Gab
like,
talked so much shit about it, and then we defended it, and then he kind of fixed his opinion a little bit. He went back on his word a little bit.
I mean, I still had my hesitations
he-
that I originally
I was gonna say,
said.
like, if you look at the timeline, it was like, this is gonna suck. They're like, it might not be that
better.
bad.
Then he really liked the trailer.
Yeah.
One of the trailers that came out. Okay, so
just cut the
Let's
meat.
go right.
let's get into it. I'll let Gab start this off and take us through the
Really?
movie. Yeah.
All right. So, Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix in the title role, is the film that we're about to discuss. I would say, did I like it? I liked the last 20 minutes of the movie.
All right.
I have to stick to what I originally said with what my hesitations were when we were getting the trailers into everything was...
By the
to
way,
ha-
spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Heavy spoilers.
Heavy spoilers
If
all
you
we
have
do.
not seen the movie,
all
Turn it
I
off
do
right
is
now.
do
Turn it off right now.
Probably just skip over this part.
because we're just spoiling.
Yeah.
And the thing is, so my hesitations were, how do you have the Joker without Batman? That's kind of like the point, is to counter the maniac elements of Joker and all that stuff. Now, if you, for anyone who doesn't know or doesn't read comics, this did take a lot from the Alan Moore graphic novel called The Killing Joke.
Right.
It didn't necessarily copy beats because you didn't have Batgirl getting shot or any of that.
Right.
Or even the Gordons, but you had a frustrated Arthur Fleck, not frustrated, like depressed and mentally ill Arthur
mentally
Fleck, getting beat down by life and ultimately becoming this character. I found it, like, even writing for the review for the site, it's like this thing where it's like there's being a movie fan and then there's being a comic fan, and
Ooh,
how
good.
that has a different, it alters my opinion, and I keep fucking seesawing with it. Like, as a movie, I think Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing job. That was just amazing character performance. Everyone that was in the film did really well. It's like, I even struggle to say how I really feel about it. I think visually it did a really good job. Again, the last 20 minutes are what I thought was fantastic about this, but that was because of as a comic fan. Socially, is it the responsibility of art to be in according with what's happening socially? Is it, because we're in such a weird time. I personally left it feeling like it didn't feel triggering.
Right.
No, for sure. Yeah,
I didn't
I
feel
agree
it
with
was
that.
triggering
Yeah.
at all. I do think that it was a little too fucking real about how much life sucks.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the points I was going to make is like this all seemed very real. His interpretation of this character was very real. It came from a very real place.
And that's uncomfortable. Like Andres next to me. Oh yeah, you weren't. Yeah, it was just I was only sitting next to Andre because I said somewhere else. But he could probably hear me constantly just going like,
"Oh man,
fuck," because there's just so much heavy shit in it.
Yeah.
The I think her name is ZZ Beats, the actress who plays Sophie, the neighbor.
Yeah.
I remember the audience.
She's also in Atlanta.
She's in Atlanta. She's in Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2, yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So she's familiar with the comic book thing, but the reveal of what was really going on with her, the audience that was like gasping, but I'm like, that was the most obvious
come on, people.
shit.
Right.
Get with
That
the
was
fucking
super
program.
obvious that it was a figment of his imagination because it just kind of, you seemed it represented in a character who had so much depression, loneliness, mental illness. Of course, he meets a girl on an elevator, and it seems for a second that she sees him, and they have some kind of a connection, and a soul that's so isolated is naturally going to cling to that idea.
Yeah.
And when things get hard or depressing or angry, or even hopeful, like when he was going to go do the performance thing, any hope for positivity, you're going to plant the fantasy of that situation. So I get that was what they were setting up. It was just not that surprising, just simply because when he opens the door and she calls him Arthur, I just seemed, to me, it's like, maybe they had already met. I'm like, no, that's the very first meeting, and she wouldn't have known his name. But anyway, for me, what's I still feel Batman was missing from it, because you've presented a story that feels like it's asking the audience to sympathize with this guy.
Right.
And I'm like, again, the times, how do you... I sympathize with the human being and for all of the negative things that he's going through as a person. I do, not his actions. I don't think it justifies the actions, but you still, I guess, feel for the character.
Right.
But it's the last 20 minutes for me that's the only thing really worth it in this movie as a comic fan, because that's when he's finally the fucking Joker.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Arthur Fleck, even Arthur Fleck killing the guys on the train and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's still Arthur Fleck. That's not the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically self-defense at some point.
Right.
Like it was almost like an accident, if you will.
Yes.
He almost kind of fell into that one literally.
The only epiphany he had was that he didn't feel bad about it.
Exactly.
But it ultimately was like,
I don't know. To me, I mean, this is just my opinion how I saw it, but to me, when he killed those three guys on the train, that's when he became the Joker to me.
Maybe when he went to the bathroom and started doing that little number.
I think the moment he became the Joker was when he got the file
from his mother?
From his mother,
Yeah,
and
100%.
figured out the truth that even from the get-go, he was fucked.
Yeah.
Like, he never had, even though he didn't remember those things, because people choose to, the brain makes you forget some traumas.
Sure.
Like, and then his choosing to kill his mom, that was like the final, I guess, break for him, was that the person that he had loved and taken care of and dedicated his whole life to also essentially sold him out. But I just feel like even when he puts on the face paint, he looks healthier. He looks like he fills out. I don't know if they shot those scenes before he lost the weight.
I think it's well, I mean, he's covered in makeup, so it's not like you can't see the wrinkles on his face.
Right, but it's still kind of like, it's like semantics, because it still feels like, for me, seeing him in the paint and dancing confidently and stuff, that was finally like the character.
But see, that's so different though than, I mean, that's he's still healthy. I mean, he's not healthy.
He's malnourished.
He's still
he's
still the
mentally
same
insane.
guy. He's just the difference is that now he's okay with what he is, with who he is.
Yeah.
And he's never been okay with what he is.
He's like
with what
finally
he is
like
and who he is.
comfortable
Fully
with who he
embracing
is.
it, right?
Right.
Embrace
and that
it,
change that can change any person. Like you look at him in the beginning of the movie and he's just this decrepit like
Some of those shots, man, like when he's laying on the couch and
weak-looking guy.
Jesus Christ.
yeah, he looks awful.
The
I mean,
dance thing by himself with the gun. in the
Right,
room
right.
was
Hey,
a
what's
l-
your name?
That was just really hard to watch. There's just some like mental illness subjects for me, like watching them depicted for me is like it's a hard thing to watch. And there was some scenes in this movie I was like, this is rough. But when he becomes again, because I'm here for the character of the Joker, I didn't want to see. That's when I started to be like, okay,
See this
and
descent
how
into madness.
they retconned, they changed how okay, this is the last thing I'll say before I have to bring this up, a big question. That they essentially made him the reason that Batman's born,
Yeah, I could see that.
Sure, yeah.
definitely.
when in comic lore it's the reverse. Batman creates Joker.
Okay.
right.
I was actually going to ask you about that. Yeah.
So it's the reverse in the comics. Batman creates the Joker because in the comics, it was on Arthur Fleck.
Who was it in the original comics that killed Batman's parents?
What's his name? Is something cool or something
I
like that?
It was
always-
some kind of weird, like
I
like
always
Joe-
thought it was.
like
I
Joe
always thought
Cool
it
or
was
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It
like
was
a
like some,
random
like, mugger,
petty
yeah.
guy.
Okay.
Some stories take
It's like some random street criminal. That's who it was.
Yeah, some iterations have taken liberty with that, and they've tried to
Sure.
like make it something relevant, but it's usually just like a petty street guy.
Right.
But and that's technically what it was here too. Was a random street
You're
guy.
just a random dude.
But it just added this flavorful context around
Love
that
that.
night,
Literally
Yeah.
love that.
which I was like, this actually makes a lot
That
of
makes
fucking
sense.
Yeah,
sense.
I would.
I
loved
liked-
that.
I like
That
that.
it wasn't Joker directly
It was someone.
being the one who killed his parents. or
just the
even,
catalyst.
it was
the
just like
exactly.
him causing the rebellion
That
then
causes
caused
that.
people to go crazy and then want somebody to go out there and want to kill the
Exactly.
Waynes.
It's
It's like it's so awesome to me. It fit in
absolutely.
so well.
It was also so awesome that, and it was such. I'm like, why did no one think of this before? There have some stories I think have done it, but the Thomas Wayne's a fucking asshole,
Right.
And I'm like, this is a great idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's ever heard of like a perfect angelic billionaire? Like that's just
Right.
not.
Yeah.
I
and he
think
comes off as even in the interviews like on TV when
Right.
they're watching him and he's talking like, oh, these guys are part of the family, this and that. Like that. He comes off kind of like as a little bit of a prick in that.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah,
thing.
he
yeah.
does. Yeah.
And then-
Even though he doesn't do anything, he doesn't say anything directly to be a prick.
No, it's just the
his
way he's
tone,
kind of
the way
carrying
he's
himself.
going- yeah.
And then of course when Arthur confronts him in the bathroom,
Right, that's when you're like, okay,
it's like,
you're
this
a
guy's a
dick,
piece
yeah.
of shit.
It's
I get
also
it.
something that I didn't think about while we were watching the movie, but even like going to bed that night, I remembered like I'd hate the guy too that wants to be mayor of a city that is literally rotting, covered in rats. Yet he lives
course.
miles
Miles
and miles
away,
away
yeah,
in a
yeah, yeah.
mansion
Manor
in
and
a
shit.
beautiful neighborhood.
Right.
Also noticing that seems to be the truth for all of the elite of Gotham because the train that he was on going to the Waynes is full
Full
of
of-
Wall Street
yeah,
suited
correct.
dudes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like the ultimate rich that profit from Gotham don't live in
Right.
Gotham. And so it's just a subtle context clue to like why you have a poor social class
Right.
that wants to fucking tear up the streets. And that again is relevant to the times, not just the mass violence thing,
Yep,
but
yep,
a
yep.
frustrated working class. That's a
Definitely.
huge element to what's going on conversationally right now.
I think the movie itself to me was, and you know me, Gab. You've known my stance on comic movies being, for me, the realer the better. So obviously, like, and plus I knew going into it that, I mean, especially once we saw the trailers, that this Joker wasn't going to be anywhere near as playful as previous Jokers, or even as jokey. I didn't even think that we were going to get really any jokes out of this
jokes.
guy. You know what I mean? Like any scenes where we're gonna laugh.
But the audience definitely laughed.
Yeah.
There were, and I mean, obviously there were scenes where people laughed, like
Right.
the
glass door.
the glass door scene, the even when he suits up to be the Joker and he goes and he's in the elevator and then he goes down the stairs and the music that's playing.
Right, and he's like doing like the hip thrust.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
And
Like
the cops are there.
like that was to me like, you know, yes, that was a very Jokery and it felt right. I just like, to me, what I loved about it was what a lot of people didn't like about it was that they took it in such a real way that it almost made sense to me. Mm-hmm. And I love seeing that in some comic book movies because I like when things don't just happen because like it's super unrealistic. Like he fell into a vat of acid.
Exactly.
Climbs out of the vat of acid. All of a sudden, he's a bad guy. Like
Right.
he's a you know, mutilated looking bad guy that like
Right.
is after Batman. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I like this element of this where it's this guy who's just like down on his luck. That's why I loved the Killing Joke.
Yeah,
Because even though the Killing Joke did have the vat of acid,
you're right.
the lead up to it was a lot realer to me
yeah.
than anything else.
Right.
100%.
So I did love this. I think that the first maybe hour and a half, it felt a little really bleak and dark and
Heavy.
heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy.
But again, that's exactly what the guy was going for.
Right.
And he obviously, to me, he
Nailed it.
succeeded in that.
Right.
He nailed what he was going for. This was his rendition of it. This is how he wanted to do it, and it worked. To me, it worked, and he did it right. The question is whether or not, and this is where the argument comes in, whether or not it's a little too real for the comics. Yeah, I'm sure. Like that's absolutely. I can agree with that. Like the Heath Ledger Joker had the realism that I like, but he did have that element of like the chaos and the quirkiness and like this guy's like been through shit.
Yeah.
But he's still like this like guy that's like almost like laughs at the chaos.
At the chaos, yeah.
Which is stuff that I would expect from Joker.
Exactly. I was thinking that's like an integral part
But here's
of
the difference to me. The Joker we didn't get a Heath Ledger Joker origin.
Yeah, exactly.
We got Heath Ledger Joker
Full swing.
full swing as Joker against Batman.
Exactly. Like he already has
Completely
everything
different-
established.
yes.
Like
for completely different than this, where this is, we're getting a guy that's got social issues, mental issues, that then gets beat up and beat up and beat up, and then becomes Joker
Right.
towards the end. So to me, they're just two different things.
absolutely, yeah. That's why it's hard to
And-
compare the
Like,
I mean, just for the fact that one's PG-13 and one's R.
yeah, exactly.
They're already not comparable performances.
yeah, yeah, no, of course. But even still, like even if they didn't, I try to think of what I've been thinking about since I saw it was, would I want to see this Joker in another movie where he was put into the position the way Heath Ledger's Joker was
Just-
in that movie.
Exactly. Go like 10 years in the future.
Right.
Clearly,
And
he's got people that are.
Yeah, he's
wanna
already
work for him.
been
He's
battling
got
Batman.
henchmen.
Yes,
Like,
he knows who Batman is. He's been battling Batman over time, and now we're going to get a full movie where it's 2 hours of just him just fucking with Batman.
Exactly. And Batman.
Can I see this coming from this Joker? And I think, yeah, I do think so. I don't know to what extent it'll be because this guy is just so dark that it almost like I don't know, but I want to see it. I would love to see it.
The thing is, I think, because Todd Phillips keeps insisting that this is the one, like a one and done. This was a story that he wanted to tell. It feels more to me that it's a movie about. It's more a movie about social frictions and mental illness. He just took the character of the Joker to use to tell to make that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not.
And if that's the case, then that's perfectly
That's
fine.
perfectly
I
fine.
think
I think it's
he
just
did
when you're
correctly.
talking about Warner Brothers and the DCU and them on life support trying to fix it, you have a problem that you didn't just do a Joker origin. You did a really excellent Gotham origin.
correct.
You depicted the perfect image of the descent of this city into the madness that Batman would one day have to inherit to protect.
Yeah, to protect him.
And you also ended it with his parents dying, kind of bringing it all into full circle.
I mean, this absolutely, if anything, made me want, at the end of this,
not a sequel, but it'll use this Gotham.
Use this. Yeah.
Use this world, because you have a Batman movie coming out in 2 years. You're going to introduce another Gotham. We're going to do another.
Use that.
Use
Exactly.
this one. But again, that would have to establish that Joaquin Phoenix Joker is a part of it, which technically he could be. Why? Because this movie takes place in 1978,
right?
And the Batman will be taking place in the very early 90s.
I read today Joaquin said he's open to a sequel.
Yeah, I saw that on. I think it was on Yahoo.
Remember also, it's
Jared Leto,
this is Hollywood. This is the movie. This is the movie industry.
Exactly.
So
if
we're talking about this. This guy saying this is a one and done, but listen, he's not the one that gets to say in this.
Yeah.
WB is going to go, hey, we're going to give you a fuck ton of money if you do this sequel with Batman. Why? Because this movie cost $55 million to make, and they made 95 here in the first weekend and 300 first weekend globally.
Also, to understand, also how Holly Weird works, Todd Phillips doesn't have to direct.
That's very true.
Yeah, again, correct.
As long as Phoenix is a part of it.
Already established. He already established the Gotham and the intro. Let somebody else take the reins.
MCU does it. MCU has multiple directors touching different characters. So I don't see why. If Joaquin Phoenix is open to it, they could absolutely do it. I have a feeling that the Batman will be in 1992, just because they're going. It's a tip of the hat to Batman Returns and the animated series release. They both released that year.
Which I think is it would be great. I mean, that's fine.
But here's this: that means that it's exactly 14 years after this one, and Bruce Wayne is about 10 years old here, which means he would be about 24 years old, which is around the age he begins to become Batman. It actually fits perfectly. It's very parallel.
So, but what I would want though is I mean, I would obviously we're going to get this Batman movie, and are they not casting like when we were talking about Jonah Hill possibly being a
it's
villain?
going to have multiple Batman.
It's going to have multiple villains in it, right?
And I think it's
going. I don't need it to have Joker in it. No. Obviously, because we just got this Joker, and we've seen it happen.
But I would
love to see either an Easter egg of some kind, or even just like a little thing that like could allude to possibly a Joker again being in this Batman,
like just something
later.
They could do essentially what DC is doing with the Shazam Black Adam thing, and what Sony's doing with Spider-Man Venom.
Right,
is that they're giving villains their own intro movies, introduce the hero, and then have them face off against each other in a future film.
Right.
They could take that angle if they wanted to do it. This is a question. Well, there's two elements that would still really need to be discussed about this movie. One is just a fun question, and it's something that it was just my own fun with it, but I think it could work. We know that they're going to be casting a black woman as Selena Kyle, and in the upcoming The Batman film.
Correct.
I just figured, wouldn't it be? I thought it would be fun if the neighbor's daughter, they found a way to make her Selena Kyle.
Okay. Yes. Let me side from that real quick. Do we assume that he killed that woman?
I assume he did. Believe I assume he killed her. Yes,
okay.
She's dead.
Then that 100% works. And the one reason why I'm asking is because it seemed like after he killed anybody in the movie, whether it's the two guys, his mom, he came out with that little jig. He came out dancing a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he did that walking away from her.
No, that was
apartment.
more. I think that was more dark.
Okay.
Like I think that he killed her, but I don't think that he wasn't like happy about it like he did.
Well,
the other deaths.
After he leaves the apartment, he's in his apartment and he's laughing and there's sirens and stuff. Did you guys hear someone yell something?
I remember that. I don't hear the yelling, but
it's like inaudible to me. But I felt like that was something to tell me if he killed her, or he didn't.
I was immediately looking for context clues to tell me what. My only thing that made me feel that he absolutely did it was the very end of the movie that when he leaves the room with the psychiatrist, the camera angle and the hall actually look very similar.
Very similar, and that's and he does the dance there,
and there's the bloody footprints. So I'm like, so he doesn't just kill for revenge; he kills innocent people because he just killed that psychiatrist, which means he probably did kill her because she didn't accomplish what he wanted. So I just thought like. It would be an interesting thing if they did somehow work that in.
That would be great.
Because Catwoman is going to be in the Batman. And that would essentially mean that both Catwoman and Batman became orphaned on the same night.
Brilliant.
Right.
So that would mean that Catwoman, Batman, and the Joker were all born on the same day.
Which would be sick.
Which would be a sick... I think
that would be sick.
It doesn't have to be that comics accurate. You can have your own fun with the films.
Yeah.
And that's a fun thing to do.
It basically writes itself. If you think
it does basically write itself if they
does.
decided
Everything
to
writes
do that.
itself right now.
I mean, I don't know if they said Sophie's last name in the movie, but that little girl's fucking name could be Selena. I didn't remember hearing anyone say her name. So
no, we don't know the girl. We don't know the little girl's name.
Could have been, and and if Bruce is 10, this girl could have been 6.
Which is actually great for them in terms of like growing up together.
Yeah, growing up together, age thing.
She could
all
be
works
20, 21 years old. And it also, one of the funnest thing about Batman and Selena Kyle's characters is that they both are very similar, but they have a different approach to the concepts of justice and revenge, or what's fair and what's good, or what should be done. And I think that's a fun angle to add to their dichotomy when you have, this guy killed both of our parents. I'm going to kill him. And Batman's like, we can't do that. So that immediately brings that into, which in the Dark Knight Return, no, what is it called? The Dark Knight Rises?
Dark Knight
Rises, that element to Selena and Bruce was more just fun banter as opposed to an actual plot point.
Right.
And I think that could be something, it's a dark angle to it, but that could be a lot of fun.
Take the ball and run with this, Hollywood. Jeez.
The last part of it that I think has to be discussed is which really kind of made me mad was the idea that the whole movie is actually one big fucking lie.
And that's the thing. It's like, fuck.
Fuck you. Please don't say that's the case.
Yeah, I've read a couple of those rumors. I'm not really happy about that.
I'm trying
It really is interpretation.
I'm choosing to take it literally.
Absolutely. It all happened.
This is literally to
It
me.
all fucking happened.
You didn't end that perfectly and make me think, because that whole Joker, the streets rising, and him becoming the crown, like Crown Prince.
I read today in the script that leaked. Originally, what he was supposed what was written in that last scene where he does like the blood smile was from the accident there was obviously glass everywhere, so he was supposed to take 2 pieces of glass
and
cut himself and do
damn
that.
It would have been great.
But they were like, you know what?
That's Heath's thing.
They were going to do that as like a little bit of an ode to him, but they were like, no, let's do it our own way, and then he did that, and I mean, look. The way he did that was
great,
incredible,
and that was the moment that I think I was like, give me more of this character.
Correct.
Just when he's just taking it all.
When he's
in,
taking it all in,
that,
and he's got all the fucking the revolution is in front of him, and they're all like cheering for him,
yeah,
and
they're
he
all
just
wearing
goes like with the fucking smile. It's incredible.
It's basically like their god literally just rose back from the dead. And
it's crazy because like I got chills because this is a bad guy.
Yeah,
this is a fucking bad guy. But like it was so well done in terms of like the build up to get to that point that I was like, I mean, I have to give it to him. Like, this is awesome. Like, I want to see more of this character.
Well, that's the
and
thing.
Ultimately, isn't that your goal in a movie to want people to want more of this?
Exactly. And
movies today,
right?
Sure. Yeah.
And that brings me to a question I was going to ask you guys, and the sole reason for it is because I find myself doing this a lot, but like when a character is portrayed right, even if they're a villain or something,
right,
I'm almost rooting for them.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember it vividly watching The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, being like, I want him to win.
Yeah,
like, I want him,
of course.
You know, and I get that same feeling at the end of this, being like, you know what, man, he started this fucking revolution. Let's see where it goes.
Yep.
So, with no disrespect to Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson, or Jared Leto, who do you think played? Whose Joker did you like better? Again, you can't compare the films, but
just which one did you like
performance-wise? Yeah, which character did you like better, Heath's or Phoenix?
It's tough, man.
Oh, we're only specifically talking about Phoenix.
Yeah, just let's get the other riff-raff out of there.
The only reason
I have to say Ledger. Ledger's my joke, just because Joaquin Phoenix only had 15 minutes to be the Joker.
That's
fair.
exactly
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
reason for picking Ledger.
And
And because
this one only had 15 minutes.
We got, and I'll say this like a million times to anybody who argues with it, we got to see Ledger as a Joker for an entire
For the whole movie.
For the whole
He's
movie.
already
not an
in
established, not a long dragged out establishing of him becoming Joker.
Right.
Like we only really got to see the Joker in the Joaquin one for 10 minutes. He killed like the scene where he's in the talk show.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is like exactly what you want to see. This is great. Like this guy's crazy as shit. And then even when he shoots him, and he kind of like Gabby, you were mentioning before, he does that.
I was
like,
just about to
fidgety,
bring it up. That, like, do I shoot again? What do I do with the
he
gun?
does that like
And he kinda
fidgety, like
drops
I don't
it.
know what I'm doing.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Body language. That's very Joker.
It's super Joker.
Right.
The laugh, he nailed the laugh to me.
yeah, absolutely.
The different laughs that he did throughout the movie were incredible to me.
Yeah.
Oh, the first time I heard the laugh in the trailer, I was like, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. But again, it comes down to if we're talking brass tacks, Joker himself. We're getting it has to be Ledger because of the format that we got this Joker in.
100%.
My thing is that with the Joker, what makes the character and like withstand the test of time is that he's a psychopath doing demented things, yet somehow while you're disturbed, anxious, on the edge of your seat, you're somehow still cracking a corner smile because the Joker is still funny.
Yeah.
So Heath Ledger blowing up a fucking hospital, but the thing won't work.
Right.
This is a really demented scene, but it's funny.
And him wearing the nurse outfit.
Oh, and he's like walking outside all like...
all weird. Or even when he goes to see Two-Face after like, that horrific scene we just saw, and he just takes off the mask and just goes,
Yeah.
Which is so...
like
Yeah.
it's the
And look,
subtleties are what makes the character funny.
Another thing is, I was just gonna say it too.
But there's also one thing about this Joker where I'm like, you're just not really Joker yet. Is that the one moment that you really had? It was about personal revenge and personal emotion. The Joker has none of those things. The Joker doesn't care who Batman is. The Joker doesn't care about money. The Joker doesn't care about literally anything.
Anything's a nihilist.
And he finally did get to that point, but by the very end of the movie. But even when he kills the talk show host guy, that's still personal. That's still emotional. That's still, you're having that resenting outburst.
Right.
That's Arthur Fleck. The Joker doesn't give a shit about anything.
Right.
And that's what makes the character so dangerous.
Right,
and
but
fun.
I still think that is something that could have come down the line, especially after the car accident, and he comes out of it and he's like, I'm alive.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And then people are cheering for me. Then at that point, I think is when we're going to get, from that point on is when we would get this, like, I don't give a fuck Joker. And like everything else is done.
Which is what I'm saying.
My mom is,
Exactly, and that's what
there's
this
so
movie
much
did. It was
space.
just like, just give me. I want more of this.
Right,
I
yeah.
want to see how he's spiraled into madness. I want to see where that madness takes him, takes his character, and everything like that.
If Pattinson does a good job, that movie's going to sell tickets. It doesn't matter because it's a Batman movie. That's just what's going to fucking happen.
Right.
You've already introduced an amazing Gotham. For some reason, every decade we got to have Batman face off against the Joker.
Right.
So I just think the space is there for it. I just don't see them not doing it.
I think that it would be really tough.
I can see them also doing as a tip of the hat to the 1960s Adam West Batman movie. I wouldn't be surprised if the villains you get in one film are Penguin, Riddler, Catwoman, and Joker.
That'd be great.
Because
that'd be awesome.
That's who
That'd be
Batman.
awesome.
And already it's rumored that Penguin, Catwoman, and Riddler are going to be the villains in this upcoming.
Why not have even
fucking
Joker
throw another
just
one
a
in the
little
very
bit?
end.
Not even. Yeah, it doesn't
Just
have
at
to
the
be
end,
in it.
exactly.
Kind of do a little.
Batman vanquishes all these other people, and then at the end you get a little something.
Or even like roll credits and there's a laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the laugh. You know what I mean? Like,
And it would still be fresh because technically 14 years would have to go by. Whoever the intro Joker and this really fallen into madness Joker, Joaquin Phoenix is going to get to play different things.
Right.
So I'm fucking forward.
I'm into it.
Yeah. The thing that I guess I wanted to talk about in terms of Heath versus Joaquin, because that's really the main topic that a lot of people
are talking about. Yeah.
Is they gave Heath the Oscar
The post-mortem Oscar.
Post-mortem.
Right.
Yeah.
2 questions. 1, do you think he would have gotten the Oscar had he not passed away? 2,
question.
2, does Joaquin's performance deserve possibly an Oscar as well?
I think it definitely warrants some. Yeah, absolutely.
A nomination.
A nomination
at
at
the very
least.
least.
At the very
I think
least.
at the very least a nomination. I think that
But I don't think the Academy is going to give it to him.
I don't think they're going to give it to him. And I think it's because they gave Heath that Oscar.
I think it's more because to give him just because of the context of the film. That's still a politicized Academy, and there's a reason, and I know there's reasons in how they fucking operate. I just don't see them giving maybe well, it would be for his individual performance.
I don't know because that is we're not talking movie. We're talking individual performance,
and that's I think it's a performance for the agents.
For me to say that he doesn't deserve an Oscar because that's one of the better performances that I've seen in a long time.
Oh, absolutely.
In terms of everything that you see him put into this performance, I mean, to me, he sold everything that he was doing in this movie.
Oh yeah.
For me, I think. Do I think Heath Ledger would have won had he not done? I still think he would. I would hope he would have because that really was that was the performance of his career up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
Him
Right.
as the Joker was the
the-
defining moment.
yeah,
of
this
his
is-
Right,
Absolutely,
but that's his career. That was the defining moment in his career. A lot of actors have defining moments in their careers
Right.
that aren't necessarily Oscar-winning moments.
Right. That's true.
So yes, it was his best movie, but does that necessarily mean that it was the best role that year?
Well, I don't know because I don't know who
in
the
that-
other
in
I don't know
that
what else is about to
category,
come
who
out,
the
but
other
goddamn,
nominees were.
he's. I feel like he set the bar pretty
I think he's
pretty
at
high.
not just for the Joker. I just think he nailed in a phenomenal performance.
Performance period,
I think
exactly.
whether he would have won or not, it was definitely earned. For this one, I guess I'll wait and see who the fucking other nominees are for Best Lead Actor. But because sometimes it does come down to who's in the category. Because
Right.
some years I'm like, well, obviously this one's going to win it because there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think no, I will not say names, no shade to other actors, but there were some years where I was like, you're only winning an Oscar because literally nothing else happened.
Right.
And then there's like some years. Like, what's the guy who played Lincoln? What's that actor's name?
Oh, fucking Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. There was one year was like him and Hugh Jackman and some other guy. I'm like, this is actually hard.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Big DDL guy, by the way. Love it. A big DDL guy. Daniel Day-Lewis, big fan.
Didn't he like retire from acting? He's like, nah, let me come back and get one more Oscar.
You might as well. The kid's fucking great.
Yeah.
The guy's fucking great.
I'm trying to actually see who was nominated with him in that category. This was 2009 is when he won it.
Right, because the film came out in 2008.
2009.
And Oscars are early in the following
Best Supporting Actor, it was Josh Brolin in Milk, Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder,
year. No, what?
Philip
How
Seymour
the fuck?
Philip Seymour Hoffman in Doubt, and Michael Shannon in Revolutionary Road. So
No, that was I think that's a pretty clean year to win
For DDL.
for Heath Ledger to have won that.
Oh, that's Heath Ledger?
That was the Heath Ledger
that was
year.
the
Oh,
year
yeah,
Heath Ledger won.
I think that was a pretty clear one. Maybe for Milk, but other than that, I think
I mean, a lot of people really liked Seymour Hoffman in Doubt, but
I don't believe I saw that.
who also has passed away.
Yeah.
who also
Dude, I was actually looking up his like
Robert Downey
filmography.
Yeah, very good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Robert Downey in Tropic Thunder was really fucking good, but not to
You know what?
win
I remember-
We're
Best
talking
I
about the comedy, right?
Yeah,
This
I
is
actually
Best
remember.
supporting actor.
where he's doing blackface.
Yes.
Yeah, he convinced me. I think Sakala said this too. Robert Downey Jr. did an amazing job of convincing me not only that he was Australian, but that he was also a black man being played by an Australian. And which is actually a pretty phenomenal fucking
No, he
feat.
did
to be
it.
honest.
First of all, Tropic Thunder was my favorite
Absolutely.
movies. It's
Absolutely.
hilarious.
Oh my god! I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, "How did they fucking do this?
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
an amazing film."
You are Australian. Be Australian. I remember that someone posted that as to comment on Iggy Azalea. Because like how Iggy Azalea raps.
Oh,
So
yeah,
someone
yeah.
put a clip of her rapping, and then it immediately cuts to him going, "You are Australian."
All right, final scores for Joker movie.
Mine is 2.5.
2.5. All right.
Yeah, 2.5. I mean, I'm serious when I say like again, for me, a big thing for Mel, realness is a thing. For me, rewatchability factor is a thing.
It's gonna be tough to rewatch it.
I don't think this movie will go, you know what? Let's get some cider and watch Joker again. Like, I don't think I would ever do that. It's just too fucking heavy. But the last 20 minutes, what it does for comic lore and just the creative twist they took, like with the Waynes dying, the blood smile, the street riding, just this birth, this really rotten, fucked Gotham.
Yeah.
So rich, so good, and I was all like, for me, like that's really it. But that's only 20 minutes of a 2 hour or something movie.
Right.
So
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 4. I liked the whole thing. I thought that it was just really, really good quality. I would rather see a really good quality movie. That what this one did, which it built, it established what it was trying to do. It was obvious what they were trying to do. The performances were incredible. If I get good acting, if I get a good build up, good suspense, I get. I think the soundtrack was really good.
Yeah.
The score, yes.
The
Awesome
score was
score.
great. I think that it gave me everything that I want in a movie. I'm not scared of things like it being too dark doesn't bother me. I think it was incredible. I think it was a really great job. 4. The only reason I give it a 4 is because I would have liked to have seen Joker longer.
Right.
Well, and
That's the
something
only
that we
reason why
talked-
they lost the
Yeah,
point.
that's what we talked about in this podcast. Was I hate when they build for character reveal in these comic book movies, and they always save it for like half of the third
Right.
act.
Yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
movies were guilty as fuck of that back
Yes.
in the day, and I'm like, I hate when they do that, and so I was really annoyed.
Like they
to
gave
see-
us once he became Joker, like you were saying, Fico. Once he became Joker, and you see him do the smile thing on the car, all you want is to
Like,
keep watching
I
him
was like,
be Joker.
Now,
That's the way
like,
I
I just
now-
sat through that shit. Let
I
me
just
have
sat
my
through an hour
prize.
of him getting fucked up,
An hour. Like
going
an hour.
through a bunch of shit, and now you're gonna cut me off here
Here,
when,
that's
like,
when we get to the
God.
final peak of the movie
And
where
that's
he's
the thing, it's
awesome now.
Like I checked my watch at the point. I'm like, no. I'm like, fuck. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're right on time now for this thing to end.
Yeah, so it's like it was great. I mean, the whole thing at the end. I mean, the last 20 minutes to me was like
That was it.
one of my favorite endings to a movie in years.
Sure, yeah.
Like the build up was slowly coming up to this, and then all of a sudden, boom! You've got the car accident. All of this is happening at the same time. The car accident, all the people revolting, the Wayne family thing. Like all of this has just happened all at the same exact time, and you're just like, oh my god, this build up to get to this is awesome.
It's great, yeah.
And then boom, he's the Joker. Boom, this is great. Boom, it's over.
Roll credits.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I did not.
But
get
that's why I
enough
lost
reward
it.
for
That's
that.
why I gave it a 4. But I mean, everything else to me was worthy of the point that it got.
So, for me to watch this movie, it wasn't so easy.
Yeah.
As you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We went opening night,
Yes.
and we were scared away by a potential gun, we'll say.
Right.
But seriously, that was a sketchy thing. So finally, we
So
made.
you had to sit through it twice for the
So
kind of.
we got. I was telling Ram,
He never got to see the end part of it the first time.
We got to probably like
But you
right
had to
before.
sit through the bullshit twice.
Yeah.
Right before he's starting to spiral
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
when we had to exit the theater because security was coming in.
yeah.
So we end up going that Saturday, and we
Yeah.
went at like 5:00 in the afternoon, and we're
Yeah.
like, "There's nothing's gonna stop
Yeah.
us now, baby." And we get in there, and that was the thing that me and my girlfriend were talking about. I was like, fuck, we have to get through like this whole thing again.
Right.
and then-
Correct.
The bullshit. Yeah.
The bullshit. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it felt like it went by pretty quick. And then
Right.
we get to it. So we had to leave right as he gets to Wayne Manor.
Oh right.
Oh,
So
okay.
When he gets when he's talking to
When he's
Bruce.
talking to
Shit, that
Bruce.
was also one of my favorite
By the way,
scenes.
real quick
Yeah, that was a good
question:
season.
was that Alfred that came to the gate?
Yes, that was Alfred.
That had to have
Fucking
been Alfred.
great.
Who
I
also was a prick.
I also assumed. Yeah, I assumed that was Alfred. I was going to confirm with
Yeah.
you.
All right,
that
cool.
was him.
All right, so we get to that shit. And then I start seeing the spiral and all that stuff. That scene when he's on the talk show and like his voice is like kind of cracking and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what
my
really.
God, yeah.
That's when I was like, this role is so real. This is coming from a genuine place. I feel like inside of him.
Yeah,
that won me over. Like you said, probably one of the better endings that I've seen in a long time.
Right. Especially because you just see him go through so much shit.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
And then like when you finally see like the bullshit with his mom, and he realizes, holy fucking, my mom is crazy as shit. I'm fucking crazy because my mom's fucking crazy. She put me through crazy shit.
Right.
Like he's just like, I'm just gonna fucking kill you, and that's it. I'm a piece of shit now. And then you're just like, this is perfect.
It's also like it's just so fucking hopeless. And it's like, but that's also why I personally feel they gotta keep going with this Gotham and this Joker, because as Batman is the antithesis to that bullshit. Like, put hope again. Like,
exactly. You have to bring...
Because Batman goes through some demented shit too, like the death of his parents, but he makes it such a point that killing is never the line that we cross, because once you cross that line, there's no going back.
This Joker would be really good with a Batman.
Yeah, because there's all this background and this foundation laid, so I'm like, you have to use it.
The bricks have been laid. They'd be stupid not to do it.
So stupid. You know how much money they'll make if they do a Batman with this Joker? Because this Joker... regardless of the controversy, people are going to go see that with Batman.
Exactly. People went to go see this movie assuming Batman was going to be it. Do your fucking research, people.
Yeah, that's if there's one thing that pisses me off.
People really thought that?
It's been pissing me off.
People assume that, like, oh, this is going to be a Batman movie. Yeah, no, people.
Yeah, everyone's thinking, oh my God, it's the Joker, which means Batman's going to be in it, or it's the Joker, we're going to be... laughing the whole time. It's going to be Heath Ledger.
Excitement.
No, motherfuckers. Do research. Read a little bit before you go see a movie. Watch a trailer. Some people went to go see this movie without ever even seeing the fucking trailer. So it's like, all right, you're going to go see this movie, and then you walk out pissed off because it wasn't what you expected. Well, if you knew what you were going into,
you were getting into an origin film.
Just watch the trailer. The trailer alone shows you how dark it is.
Exactly. All that being said, I'm with you on I'm going to give it a 4 also.
Yeah.
Just little things made me really love this movie, and there's some other things that I was like, eh. Right. But I gave it such a high score because I see where this character is, and I'm just hoping to just get more of it, because even that little bit really...
Absolutely.
I really have to title this episode "Poor Jared Leto."
100%.
Yeah, poor guy, man.
Yeah, definitely poor Jared.
Guy, man.
Because honestly, I don't even. If they just, I don't think we're ever going to get that Joker ever again, right?
No, I don't think so. No, it just makes no sense because now you have a Batman in a different time period universe than Harley Quinn's over here, but she mentions Joker, but he's not going to be around, and then this origin Joker. It's just a convoluted fuck.
But that's WB for you.
Yeah, that is WB for you.
So
if they're smart, which they haven't been, they'll keep going with Joaquin, but we'll see.
I think clearly a far superior choice at this point. Everything about that movie, like you said, the decrepit part of Gotham and stuff. Oh. God damn. There was one thing I wanted to point out. I think you mentioned this a few weeks ago. I don't know if you mentioned it on the podcast or just in general. Phoenix did this. He did this slight, he was kind of flamboyant at times.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a real, that's part of the Joker character, just to have some of these flamboyant tendencies in the
camp tendency, yeah.
And when he did that look back to De Niro, when he's talking over his shoulder,
oh yeah,
I was like, holy shit! I'm like, I thought that was so well executed, and perfect. I'm like, that's it.
I had forgotten about that scene.
I'm looking at this now.
Yeah.
And
it was like a
shoulder,
shoulder than kind of like an eye wink or something.
It was so sus, but it was so well done.
I can't remember like a little girl doing that kind of.
I can't remember Heath doing too much of that type of stuff in Dark Knight.
I don't think that he did. It wasn't as he wasn't as flamboyant.
That wasn't a part of.
That wasn't part of that character.
But it was very much a part of Mark Hamill's voice.
Oh, yes,
animated
correct.
series
Absolutely,
Joker, which I saw more remnants of that in this one.
Yes.
I saw more animated cartoon. Believe it or not, in this dark-ass mental health movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Him and the Joker, there's just a lot. Him running away from the cops felt very animated.
Oh, absolutely. I saw a lot of people tweeting about this too. Is one of the things they liked about it was also how every time that he was running, it almost looked like he was always wearing clown shoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he wasn't wearing clown shoes.
It's just,
so it was just part of that, this clowny guy that, even though the movie didn't have a lot of funny parts, it gave you just little bits of like him having just enough quirk
Yeah, to make
to
it
be funny-ish.
Can we talk about one of the funny parts of the movie that it got like more of a large response in the theater that I was kind of like, that's kind of fucked up.
The little kid,
The little guy,
the little guy. Yes.
That legit, I was like, that's kind of.
So
fucked up.
your audience laughed to that.
The whole theater was like
So did ours.
applauding. Like,
And I remember because that was
like,
one of the
I'm like-
spoiled clips, and it broke my heart seeing that because I'm
Yeah.
like, the fuck, man.
I
And then the theater-
honestly felt kind of like,
Yeah.
like this isn't right. Like, chill.
that's not
chill.
funny. The dude just like, but Ramel laughs. But
Come
here's
on, man.
But then again, it also goes to the thesis of the movie and the character who decides what's
funny?
Yeah,
exactly.
man.
No,
and
you
like
know
that
what?
that all
man.
goes to it. That's the point of the Joker. When is it appropriate to laugh?
Yeah,
I'm about
correct.
to blow up a hospital, but you guys are laughing because I can't figure out how the fuck the trigger works.
Exactly. He's literally about to commit mass murder,
And
and
he
we're
did-
laughing
and
at
we're
him.
laughing.
And you know what I mean? Like,
Joker, when he is about to literally, Heath, we keep a reference. It's just so iconic. About to like fuck with Rachel at the party.
Yeah.
He grabs a martini and spills it everywhere and takes it. There's nothing in the cup.
Right.
It's that kind of, or when he gets out of the truck and he has a gun and like he sets it off by accident, so like
Yeah.
falls.
yeah.
That kind of physical humor is all very Joker.
Right.
And it's so you're laughing in inappropriate
Right.
times,
Times,
so
yeah.
it makes you question what's funny, when is it
Yeah.
appropriate to laugh, which is actually a very important question, I think, today in cancel culture.
I knew he wasn't going to kill the little guy too. I think that's what made
Thank
it.
God.
Here's the thing. I think Phillips did know where the line was.
Yeah.
Because also that the two females one alleged female that he killed, but
Yeah.
all that violence was off screen.
Off
There was
screen, yeah.
never any visible violence towards
Correct.
women.
Right.
Which
was a nice touch,
Besides
yeah.
killing his mom, I know, but
But even then,
even then, it
they don't
wasn't-
show that.
they don't
like
sh-
they only show his face while it's
True.
happening.
Exactly.
And it's not like the other scenes of shooting the guys or the stabbings.
Correct.
It's
yeah. The gratuitous
the
violence
gratuitous
wasn't
violence.
with women.
Right.
Yeah.
We've already done that in Hollywood a bajillion times.
100 times.
You don't
Right.
have to do it here, and he chose not to, so I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
There.
Great movie, man. I mean, let's hope that DC doesn't fuck this up
Oh, well, you never
and
know.
does some,
Give him
you know,
time.
don't do something stupid and crazy.
Give him time.
I guess we could end with just like the random stuff that happened over the little hiatus that we went on while we moved away from 17 Waverly.
Well, let me just add real quick that
Yeah.
I'm a part of the founding members now of Disney Plus, and I
you've-
can't wait until November 12th, baby.
November 12th.
Can't wait.
The thing is, like, we're now entering.
That's like a month away.
Yeah.
We're there, baby.
Correct.
We are there.
Really? It's a month
Yeah.
away. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, we're a month away from the wars
From
officially
Armageddon.
starting. Yeah.
Yeah, damn. Well, I'm fine with that. I need some shows to watch, bitch. I want to watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
I want to see that damn dog movie.
Gab and I started. I mean, he got further.
Carnival Row?
Carnival Row on Amazon.
oh, honey.
And
Talk about that.
we're going to keep this one short because there's not much to really say here, other than I saw episode
Diet
1.
Coke Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I saw episode 1.
Oh,
It's interesting,
Yeah, it's interesting. Sure.
but is it interesting enough for me to continue to watch it? Probably not.
This is how I would describe it, and I said it to you last night at the table. The thing about Game of Thrones was, in the very first episode, you gave me incest and attempted child murder.
Right.
And that was the moment that I went, oh, okay. Well, let me see what else is going on. I'll watch. And
Right.
it took Carnival Row 6 episodes to get me to that
for you to get
moment.
to that point where you're like, oh, okay.
For me to go,
Possibly.
oh, that's what you did. Oh, okay. All right, I guess I can keep watching. I was hooked to Game of Thrones after Ned Stark's beheading. That was
Yes,
the hook, and
correct.
I was in.
But that was also the end of the end of the season.
But I still got one. I still
Right,
haven't
you
gotten
still-
that from Carnival Row. I still haven't gotten a moment where I'm like, oh, shit. All right, let's watch this fucking series.
Right.
It's just
Not there yet.
depending a lot on Orlando Bloom's crotch, and it's like trying to just like, come on, guys, be thirsty. And
Right.
it's just like, I see what you're doing, and the pieces are there. I think the idea and the world and all that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you're not. I'm finishing it simply because all of the episodes are out.
Right.
And I need something on before I go to bed.
Fico, you haven't seen the Breaking Bad movie yet, right?
Oh no, I didn't. I actually forgot that.
Yeah,
that came out.
it came out last week, last
Okay.
Friday. So we definitely got to see that.
I'll be
we'll watch
doing
it for
that
the
then.
next one. I guess we'll end with some good news. We'll end with some good news here. The Tyler Perry opened his
studio.
studio
See
in
that?
Atlanta
What
or
the
in Georgia.
fuck?
It just goes
holy
to show
shit.
you don't have to make an Oscar-winning movie
Movie.
to have success.
So,
Like, damn.
I mean, think about his. I'm going to pull up his movie list here.
he's made a shit ton of movies, but I think it's like
A lot of like, was it Medea or like?
all the Medea movies. I don't. It makes me curious now. I want to know what were the box office numbers for those films.
I mean,
I don't care
yeah.
about the ratings. I want to know like the box office numbers,
Right,
because what is the monetary
Holy shit, he made
success?
so many Medea movies.
Yeah, shit ton of Medea movies.
Medea Family Funeral, Medea Family Reunion, Medea Goes to Jail, Medea Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
I also understand that.
Boo, Medea Halloween.
Yeah.
Medea's
Medea-
Witness
we're
Protection.
watching Medea
You
Halloween
gotta have
this
to.
year.
Boo
Actually,
2, Medea Halloween.
Boo too.
None of those not on Freeform
Medea
yet.
Christmas, Medea Big Happy Family, Medea Class Reunion.
The size of the studio is
Holy
impressive.
shit.
Also, the fact that I think it's built on some old Confederacy bullshit. or something.
Probably
it
like-
was
like
an
a
old,
plantation
It was
or
an
something?
old Confederate. God damn it! What's the name?
Plantation.
No. It's where they like established like their like ground, their campground for like
Oh,
where
wow.
like their battalion was.
That's
And
crazy.
then you build. Amen.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. Going like watching like that tour video with like you're going through like different neighborhoods and there's
Yes.
like houses, neighborhoods,
Yes.
and then like kind of like more of like
Correct.
city houses,
Yeah.
and then boom, White House.
Sick,
Fucking awesome.
sick.
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean he's got a shit ton of movies, but they're all Medeas. I think that there's probably 15 to 20 Medea movies.
That's incredible.
Which I didn't know there was this many Medea movies.
But now with their own studio, with his own studio, like
the thing is,
diversity, that we're gonna a bigger diversity in film. Like that's just great. Again, especially because with losing 20th Century
yeah,
Fox.
absolutely. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, congratulations to him.
Absolutely, man.
It looks absolutely humongous. What was it that Ava DuVernay say that it's
That basically like a bunch of
they
big
could
film
fit they
studio.
could fit Disney,
Yeah.
Disney, Warner Brothers, and
All
like
of
another
another,
big
like,
one,
Sony or something like
all
that.
inside of
simultaneously
at the same time inside of his studio
and still
have 60 acres,
60 acres. Yeah.
That's fucking incredible.
which
That's
is insane. But yeah, all right. So good job, guys. Killed
Absolutely.
it.
We're back.
We're back.
back.
We're
And-
back and fresh and better than ever.
We'll be
Damn
here
right.
next week. Stay tuned.
See you later. Whoa. Bye.
That was creepy.